All right, welcome back. In this video, what I wanted to show you was how to integrate something like Teams or Slack with Azure Data Factory through the use of webhooks. So, if we use something like Teams or Slack, we really need a channel usually. So, what we'll do is I'm going to let's go ahead and see if I can't create a new channel, and I'll just call this one Webhook Demo. Next, that's going to be private for me, and then I'll skip this for now. Okay, so I've got this webhook demo channel. Next, what I want to do is add an app. So the app that I'm going to do is this incoming webhooks. Configure it. We'll add this to Slack, and then I have to pick a channel. So let's post this to my webhook demo channel. We'll add that. And now we've got a webhook URL, which we'll go ahead and just copy this. All right, so that is copied. Now let's head over here to just a Python notebook that I have, and I'll be deleting this here in just a little bit anyways, but what we'll do is we'll just do an import of requests. We'll set the URL, and then I'm going to set my headers for content type is application JSON, and I'm going to send a simple payload of hello YouTube, and then we'll post it. And so like that, I just got a notification from Python. If I was to do the same thing within Data Factory, so one of the things that I might want to do is actually create a global URL or a global parameter. So let's call this my Slack URL. I'll paste that value. We'll say save. This way I can use this kind of from multiple pipelines and triggers rather than just one. So if I go to edit, I'm on my working branch. What I'll do is I'll add a webhook task. An alternative approach would be to create a logic app or something like that, but we'll just do the webhook for now. It's simple enough. And we'll just say Slack notification. And so right now we're going to do this on success because we know that this last pipeline was successful. So we'll do settings, and we will pick the we'll pick my parameter that the global parameter that I just set. We'll do a post, and then the kind of the headers that I just told you about is going to be what content type, and then application JSON. And then all we really need to send to this is just text. So make sure I did that right. So it's just going to be type text, and then I'll just say success from ADF. And if we save this, let's go ahead and do a debug. If I can spell, that'd be nice. ADVENTURAWRKS 2022. And we'll do this for the person schema. Actually, let's do it for human resources. I think that's a little bit smaller. So this is running. Let's give this just a minute. Shouldn't take too long. So it's in progress. Everything is queued up. Give it just another minute. Almost done. I think there's maybe 2 more to go. And you know what? I think there's one thing that I forgot to do that I wanted to do. But it looks like that worked. So that's just showing a simple success. On the flip side, what we could do is create a webhook for failure. And on failure, it would just say notification So failure. So the other one, we might change the name of that. So this is going to be really similar. Let's grab that parameter from before. We got a post method for this. I think it's just content type and then application JSON. Oops. And then for the body of this one, we'll just call this, we'll say text, and then we would say failure. Okay, but we don't have any real information at this point, and I think we want some. And also, I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to let this thing time out. Okay, so we don't have any information in here right now, but we do want some. One thing that I'll point out is trying to work with this kind of the dynamic content of it is a bit annoying because it always kind of tries to change the body type. So if you wanted to, what you could do is you could look for parameters and things like that to kind of get, to get a start of like what some of these items might look like. But we're not going to do it dynamically. Technically, we're going to do it here in the body. And so what I'm going to do is something like this. So I'm basically doing my text, and then I'm just kind of breaking it out by new line. So if you've not worked with new lines before, that's kind of what's going on there. So I'm just kind of pulling in a couple of these objects. So it's kind of hard-coded the word failure here. I'm doing a new line. I'm pulling in the pipeline name, new line, saying that this is a schema, so I'm pulling in the schema name to tell me to kind of like which version of it failed. So it's kind of all I'm doing there. So what I can do now is I can save this, but there's no reason why this would fail. We just saw that it worked. What we can do though is I know this data good enough to know that some of it will fail. And so I have those two, originally I had the pipeline so that we're not looking at the employee or the address table. I'm no longer going to filter those out. So the reason why those fail is just because it's got some kind of like different data type that doesn't play nicely by default. So I don't really care about fixing it. I'm just happy that there's some data that won't work so that we can make an error for this. So let's go on ahead and save this. And then this one is still in progress. So let's go on ahead and cancel this. And that was one of the things I wanted to show you as well, was because we're not really getting any information back from this. So we're going to let this do a quick timeout at 1 second. And so we'll just save it. So we'll just let this be kind of like one-way communication. Now that it's good, let's do a debug. So AdventureWorks 2022. And then we said we're going to do human resources again. And so we know that there's a bad table in human resources, or a table with a data type that won't convert nicely without some sort of manipulation. So it should work through most of these tables, but then the pipeline as a whole will, or this for each as a whole, will fail. They're just going to send a couple little notes to Slack when it fails to let me know what's going on. And so you can be kind of as explicit with that as you want. Again, just be aware that when you're setting it up, do it in the body here. Do not try to do it as the, I say don't try to do it dynamically. You can try to do it dynamically if you're better at this than I am. But for me, I just do it in the body. So let's go back to the actual pipeline though. So, all right. So this part looks like it failed. And there's our notification. So what I'm seeing is, hey, there's a failure. The pipeline is my dynamic pipeline. The schema that we're running was the human resources schema. So that's just something that's going to be helpful for you when you're trying to monitor some of your jobs. So hope this helps, and we'll see you in the next series, I guess.